Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we review a model from Marvel Crisis Protocol every week. I'm your I'm your host who trips over his words and who just called himself the host, Fred.
Uh-oh.
Today's the day.
Today's
We
the
have
day.
we have fallen into it.
Who else is here? Sound
Oh,
off.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
Well, the gang's all back together, everybody, except for Jared. We don't have Jared yet, but this gang is back together. How is everybody doing today?
I'm fine.
How about you, Brandon? How are you
I
doing?
think I would be more surprised if Brad didn't say he was fine. I'm doing good. I just got in from a good round of disc golf. Had one of the best rounds I've played in a while.
Oh, nice. Uh,
Mm.
uh, we'll go into that in just a second. How are you doing, Steven?
I'm fine, still in Florida, but I'll be making my way back for the tournament that you guys are
Yeah,
having.
that is excellent news. Did you say disc golf,
Yeah,
Brandon?
yeah.
Okay. What? Excuse me for being ignorant.
Oh my gosh,
But
Fred
what is
doesn't know what
disc
disc
golf?
golf is.
No,
Which
I
is
don't.
wild
What is
because I
it?
feel like Fred would really enjoy disc golf.
I don't. It depends on what it is. I don't want to
It
say that I'd
it's
be into
it's
it.
throwing frisbees into baskets like you're playing actual golf. Is the
Oh,
easiest way to describe it.
you're correct. I would be very into that.
And it's basically like you're just like outdoor hiking and they have courses like built around it.
Where did you do this?
They've got a lot of courses around us. I played at Little Creek. They have one at Cato Park. They have one at Redeemer Church in Southridge. They've got one
They have
at
one
Wine
at
Cellar Park.
they have one at Camp Virgil Tate.
They do have one at Camp Virgil Tate.
I did not know that this was even something that was happening in culture. I didn't know that
This has
this
been
was something
around
that
for a
existed.
long time, Fred.
Yeah, it has been around for a long time.
Or
Well, I
yeah,
don't get out much, everybody. Have you figured
like
that out yet?
like since the 70s, it used to be called frisbee golf a long time ago. So
Oh my
It's
goodness.
actually was developed in Saskatchewan in 1926.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
just people in
Okay.
Canada get bored.
Yeah.
In
So they played it
with
for the 1 month of summer they have.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
the thing with disc golf is that you can actually play it in the colder weather, unlike golf when the ground starts to freeze. So
Okay.
Yep.
So it's cold weather friendly golf.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's you can play it year round.
I don't
And
think
this was
I'd
a
want
good
to.
session for you. You did
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I shot two under, which is I think my previous high at that course was like +5 or +6 or something. So
Oh, so this was a wildly good run.
yeah, it was wildly better than I think I've played there in a very like probably ever. So
Okay. Well, congratulations. Well
thanks. It was
done.
good. The season's like just now starting. Like it's like right when it's like gonna be like it kind of kicks off here soon. So I'm excited for it. It felt like I kind of went into it as like this is my baseline round for this course going forward, and I'm not sure I'll ever do that good again.
Yeah, now you're gonna
Oh,
have the yips. You're gonna have the
yeah,
yips every time you play there.
yeah. I set
Well,
myself up for failure.
well, I'm glad you did well, and I'm glad you're joining us today.
Yeah,
We
you'll have to
certainly
come out
will
with me
be.
sometime and play because I think you would really enjoy it.
I would absolutely be game for that. That sounds fun. I will be terrible. For the record, I will be
It's
terrible.
there's a course like the Dunbar City Park course is what's called a pitch and putt, so it's all par threes, but they're all like 120 feet. So it's a very short course.
Okay.
So it's like the
Well, all
perfect
right.
place to start.
I may take you up on that at some point.
Sounds good to me.
Let's move into what we're actually covering, which is Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. We have some news that came out. Namely, we know what Immortal Hulk's cards are. Uh, is this a special information, or does
Yes.
everyone know?
No,
Okay,
this is technically not been released yet.
yeah. So we've got the hookup for everyone who listens. All right. So
and doesn't follow anything related in any other form of media.
uh, Brad, why don't you pull up the first card and
Sorry, I just
read
hit
it
my
off to
mic. So the first one alphabetically is Gamma Drain. During the Immortal Hulk's activation, it may play this card. Choose an enemy character within 2. The chosen character gains Gamma Drain token. The Immortal Hulk places the token on an active or reactive superpower of the chosen character. When the superpower marked with the Gamma Drain token is used, after the effect is resolved, the Immortal Hulk gains power equal to the power spent to use the superpower.
That is interesting. That is, it's a good way to get him more power, and he likes power. He's probably going to be swimming in it pretty regularly, but he's someone who can definitely spend it. So, putting it on someone who always uses, like, say you put it on Magneto, on his throw, you'd get so much power from that.
Yes.
Could you put it on an X?
Yes. You can put it on an X.
Yeah.
The things that don't count for him gaining power is if you root them or Loki, where you have to spend extra power before you use the superpower. You don't get that extra power.
Okay. But you would just get what's listed on the card.
Yes.
That's still it is very niche, and I don't know if, I mean, getting Immortal Hulk power is a good thing, but I don't know.
It also
I don't know.
discourages them from using that superpower. I don't
That's
know
true.
if it's enough to discourage them, but
Yeah, I think that with a big character like Immortal Hulk, they can't give him really bug nuts cards. But let's go into the second one. I'll read this one.
I think you named honestly the only good reason to play this card, and that's like Magneto's throw. Otherwise, this card's bad.
Okay, yeah. I think that it is taking up a spot in your cards, which could be in a better spot. I mean, if you put it on Magneto's throw, that's going to be a lot of power. That's going to be Hulk at 10 power all the time.
which just heals him when he dies.
I mean, yeah. Well,
But that's
I
good.
will read. Yeah, it's very good. I mean,
Healing Hulk is good. I mean,
yeah, I understood what you meant. I think that everyone out there who has been spending the past week racking their brains over what to do about Immortal Hulk has also understood what you meant.
yeah.
But here, I'll read the next one. The next one is called One Below All. It is unaffiliated and active, and during the Immortal Hulk's activation, it may spend 2 power to play this card. If it has an immortality token, it may remove up to 2 special conditions from itself. If it does not have an immortality token, it may place itself within range 2 of its current position. Another card, that's it. It's another card that is very, like, I don't know, it's underwhelming. It could unstagger him, which is nice. Very nice, actually, but only if he already has an immortality token. And if he doesn't have an immortality token, what's the point? He already has Gamma Leap. Like,
Yeah, but it costs one less, Fred.
it's a 1 power cheaper Gamma Leap for a card. That is not worth a card.
This is also not good.
Yeah, it's not worth a card. Like I think that both of these are not. They're not great. They're not ever gonna be great, because if everything that's good about Immortal Hulk is right there on the card, if they made him a lot better with his cards, I mean, I don't know you'd bring him every game. He's He's good enough. He does not need like a lot of cards to make him better. What is
Yeah,
what is everyone else's thoughts on this? What's your
well,
thoughts, Steve?
and that's the dichotomy, because we did Rhino not too long ago, right? And everybody was kind of down on him until his cards came out. So,
True.
but
Yeah.
this is the opposite, right? Everybody was kind of up on this guy, and his cards are depowered, and I think that's a good balancing act that AMG is fostering in its design.
That's
Yeah.
true, but what it means is that these cards are just not going to see play.
Yeah, like
They'll
we
see.
already have a ton of cards that aren't good in this game. Like
Mm-hmm.
people will play cards because they want to play them, but like some of these are just kind of like, in my opinion, kind of poorly designed. Like this card doesn't make any sense for me. Like I'd rather it be full like Immortal Hulk. If he's already been revived once, if he spends 10 power, he can throw up to a size 5 piece of terrain. Like I'd rather have something like just like off the wall, like than something that just doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I get where this is coming from, because a lot of the way that characters remove conditions so that they don't lose activations is to just die and then they go away. And that's not an option for Immortal Hulk, because am I correct in the way that this works, that if he has a condition when he is dazed and he gains the immortality token, the condition remains? Is that correct?
Unless it specifically says that they are removed.
I don't know that it does. I think that
Let's open
The
it.
ability on the Immortal Hulk says otherwise during the cleanup phase, while this character is dazed, if this character does not have an immortality, it removes all special conditions and all power from
Okay.
itself. For each power removed this way, it removes the
Okay.
damage from itself.
Then never mind. That makes this card even less useful.
Yeah, I
'Cause I was
don't.
gonna
This
say,
card to me doesn't do anything, and it solidifies my opinion that I think Hulk 1 is just better.
okay,
Well,
okay.
the other thing I'd like to bring up is that, the conditions for this card being good are very so niche, because one of my friends runs an A Force with Scarlet Witch and Crystal, which is a condition lockdown list, right? And with Crystal and Scarlet Witch within a certain range, you can't shake certain conditions. This card would allow you to remove some annoying conditions from yourself, but that's the only
But
case where it's good.
he also removes them when he's dazed.
Well, I understand, but this is stating when he has the immortality token. So I'm talking about the after effects, but that's the only situation I can see where it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not enough. It's an underwhelming power, is the issue. I mean, it can see you. I can see its value. Can he be stunned? Is he immune to stun?
Yes.
He is immune
Stun,
to stun. That
stun,
good lord.
stun, poison, and hex are what he's immune to.
So he could be shocked. He could have shock, and that would hurt him.
Root would hurt quite a bit.
Root would hurt too, yeah.
And incinerate's always nasty. So.
And judgment would hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some powers. There are some afflictions that can really. I don't know if they turn him off. They make him less good, but I still don't think this is worth taking. This is an underwhelming card. You briefly mentioned your take, Brandon. What's your overall take on Hulk, on the Immortal Hulk?
I mean, he's very good. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not, but like, the problem is Hulk 1 is like probably a top 2 model in the game, if not the best model in the game. So it's just gonna be very hard to pay an extra power to play a worse Hulk. Like, he's probably not gonna have too many different affiliations, if any. And threat value is really important. Like, and that was when I chimed in. You guys were talking about a 5 threat character versus a 3 threat character. It's like the threat value is very important And as someone who played a lot of Malekith in a short amount of time, 7 also is very awkward in
Yeah,
lists.
it
Like,
is.
it's very weird to fit in. Like, you're only playing, if you're splashing Immortal Hulk, you're really only playing him at like 19 or 20. And that just depends on the core of your roster. A lot of cores are in that 11, 12 range. So if you're at 11, now you can't play him. You can only really play him at 18 and 18 and 20 without changing
Right.
like the core of your whole roster. So 7's kind of awkward. Everything costing more power. Like he doesn't get the extra dice. He doesn't have the defensive tech. Like his throw is the same, but his leap is it a power less than the Hulk or is it the same?
I
Or
think
more.
power more. I think it's
Yeah.
No,
more.
it's
No, it's the
no,
same.
no, it's the same. It's the same.
Um,
The
It's the
same.
same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
It's
thinking
the it's the
throw.
terrain. The terrain throws one more power. I knew one of them was one more power. So the terrain throw being an extra power, he doesn't get the "you won't like me when I'm angry." He doesn't have as much variety in his attacks. Um, I mean, it's kind of cool, but I mean, people are going to be prepared for it. Like I said, my biggest fear is that he's not going to be that that they are going to rotate characters or something of that nature and kind of rotate out Hulk 1 and MODOK 1 that we're talking about. The character we're
It
talking, and
is
then
a distinct possibility. That
yeah,
is a distinct possibility.
I
Uh,
don't, and
We
I
should do
don't.
those
I want to make
episodes
this clear
soon,
that.
then.
Mhm.
We should do those episodes soon then.
yeah, you're right.
What?
We should do them next. If we don't
Oh
get,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if we
Brandon,
don't get Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, but I do
Brandon,
want to make this. Go ahead.
do you think that this Hulk then suffers the fate of Black Widow? You know, we have the 2-point Black Widow who's played quite a bit, and then the 3-point Black Widow who's
Yeah,
non-existent.
yeah, and if you listen to our latest issue of Well Laid Plans, we kind of talk about that. Like, it's very hard to play 3-point Widow when you have 2-point Widow being just as good for a point less. I do not think you're wrong in any way for playing the Immortal Hulk. Like, I don't think it's a wrong decision. I just think Hulk 1's better. Like, if you like the Immortal Hulk and you think what he's doing is cool, go for it. I just, I don't
What the
see the appeal, I guess, on. I mean, if you have both of them, like if you're new to the game, and because Hulk's not an easy model to find, if you're new to the game, you really want to play Hulk, play the Immortal Hulk. He's great. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's not like a top tier model because he is. The problem is his counterpart with basically the exact same name is arguably the best model in the entire game. So it was going to be hard to be better than the other version. I think this is a fair version. I think this is correctly costed threat value. I think it's the power economy on it. I think is what is correct. I think everything is costed properly. I think it's a well-designed character.
I think that what this guy is in answer to is the feeling from people who play Hulk that he can just get removed from the table, which is obviously very difficult to do. But there are list designs that can remove the Hulk from the table pretty quickly.
If
And
you
once
have
you do the 20 damage to the Hulk 1, he's gone. He's finished.
Just
as
So
someone who has killed She-Hulk on turn 2 and then Hulk on turn 3 in the exact same game, the difference almost always is that Hulk has an activation that is one of the most insane activations you'll ever have when he has 15 damage on him and he has 10 power and now he gets the Hulk smash twice with uh, up to 12 dice on each attack and then usually gets like a throw out of it. He usually has 2 throws on it. He's giving out staggers. Like he just ends up killing your whole board. This Hulk does not have that fear to me that he's just going to turn around and kill my entire board in one turn.
that's true. That's fair. This might be, and it might be exactly what we're talking about. That they could be trying to phase
This
out
is
Hulk.
yeah, and this is the fair version of Hulk 1. Like feels like the correct version of Hulk 1 after the errata. Like it was very bad before the errata. They errated it. It became arguably the best model in the game, and this is like that middle ground. This feels like what it should have been.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
my opinion, that's my opinion.
Well, what do you give him for letter grade?
He's an A. Like I think he's a solid A. And I think he's held down because of Hulk 1. I think if Hulk 1's not removed, I think he goes to like that A plus borderline S tier model. That 7 threat. Again, he's not as good as Malekith in my opinion. I think Malekith is better even with the errata because of the charge that has the throw built into it. That is not size restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can throw Dormammu's, you can throw Sentinels.
Sentinel.
All of Immortal Hulk's are size restricted. I believe. I'm pull it back up.
No, the Spender one
The
is
Spender,
non-size.
the 5 power one, that does get a throw. So he does get to do that, and you're paying 5 power for that versus 3 on Malekith, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Right?
You're correct. Yep.
So Malekith has a variety. He has an attack in every category. He has consistent, slightly better defenses. He has more health pool. Obviously, he's not going to have as much health pool because of the
green
being able to
door.
gain life. But you get to remove damage if you're playing the Dark Council affiliation. Slightly better defenses. He moves medium, not small. He has more.
Yep.
He has some defensive tech with Cloak of Shadows. Even though
you're
took
right.
away his other defensive tech. So I don't think he's as good as Malekith, and I don't. So I think there's still that hierarchy of 2 Stone Thanos, Hulk 1, Malekith as your 6+ models in that S tier with Magneto, and then after that you're in that A. I think they've done a good job with the model. I think it was. I don't think they should be designing S tier models. S tier models should not be coming out left and right. Like they should not be. Like I feel like if you're an S tier model, you were designed incorrectly.
Okay. I mean that's a fair take. Do we have anything else to say about these cards other than that they're underwhelming?
Yeah, my only take on the cards is I just wish they were kind of cheeky. I would have liked just like more fun cards where it's like he's like the Agents of Smash with She-Hulk where they can throw a size 5 piece of terrain. Like I just want like cheeky. I'd rather have cheeky stuff like
super corner case but fun, like if you could pull it off kind of deal.
Yeah, like a huge Hulk smash. Like if you're around 4 pieces of terrain, you can pay 8 power, destroy all the terrain. Every character within 2 of the terrain pieces suffers 2 damage.
Okay. All right.
Like,
well,
I'd rather have. If I'm gonna get bad cards, I want them to be like at least fun in the casual game. Like, these cards don't seem fun casually, and they're not competitive. So.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move on. Brad, do you have anything to bring up about Cerebro?
I do. So yesterday, as of recording, or a couple days ago, if you're listening to this when it comes out, I submitted the Android version of the app. They are still processing that request for it to go into full production, but that should be real soon, hopefully. And I've started the last little bit of work on the iOS app. I am off work this next week, so I may, if I don't spend all my time painting, I'll work on that and try to get it out before the end of the month, hopefully. That's it. That's the updates.
Okay. I mean, that's huge news for those of us with... do you have any idea of how long the Android process takes? Like, how long it'll take before it goes up? Or is it just completely nebulous?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would be like 24 to 48 hours. We're at like a little over 24 right now. So,
yeah.
Hopefully.
It could be 3 months.
No, it won't be that long. It won't be that
long. But like, we just have no idea. It's on its way. It might be out by the time you're listening.
It could be.
That would be fun. That would be really good.
Could be.
I know that I will download it the moment that it becomes available. All right.
And actually signed in, Fred?
Yeah, I'm signed in now for the record. So I had put in. This is a story of how stupid I am for everyone who's listening. So I was trying to sign in to Cerebro MCP for the longest time, and how I would sign in was I would say I can't remember my password, and it would email me, and I would uh, apply a new password, and it would sign me in for the first time, and I'd be in, and then the moment I'd go away, I'd sign out, and the next time I try to sign in, it wouldn't work. And the reason why is because I had my username wrong, and I feel stupid.
And
So
it
now I'm using the
should
correct username.
it should keep you signed in. I don't know why your device is not, but the app should fix that for you, Fred. It should keep you signed
It
in.
has kept me signed in recently.
Okay, good.
That was the problem, like early on in Cerebro. I was running into that problem, and I am now. I just got fed up with doing that, and so I was just using it in its non-signed-in version. But now I'm using it correctly.
And that you can make
Anyway,
rosters and everything.
now that I'm not, and let's move on from I am stupid to let's talk about our played games. As I understand, Brad, you got some games in yesterday, correct?
I did. I'm the only one on this podcast. It was me and Michael. Michael
I played
played.
games last week.
Yeah, it's way too late for that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
Go ahead,
Michael
Brad. Go ahead.
Michael plays the same list all the time because his favorite model in the game, looks wise, is Red Skull 2. And so he has a Red Skull 2 Hydra list because it looks the most like a War Machine model, is why he likes it. So every time I play Michael, I know exactly what I'm going to play against. And Brandon flaked last night, so we played 2 games.
Ooh, I did flake.
The first game, I played Brandon our Hellfire list.
Yeah, I've been like trying not to ask you about it because I would have bothered you about it until you told me, even though you would have been like, you can just wait for the pot. Like I didn't want to.
For
So
those of you who
I've
don't,
not messaged anyone today because I have not asked the chat or Brad today because there's nothing else I wanted to know about.
for those of you who might be confused by that past statement, there is a brand new episode of Well Laid Plans out where Brandon and Brad worked out a pretty terrifying Hellfire List club. Hellfire Club list. I said it backwards. Hellfire List Club. I like that better. Go ahead and talk about it, Brad.
And for listeners, if you downloaded that and listened to it and it was really low and you turned it off, which I don't blame you, I amplified the volume and re-uploaded it. So if you just delete the old one and re-download it, should be good now, as of you hearing this podcast. But
I could hear it when I cranked the volume really high, but every time I would hit back, like I wanted to rehear something you said, it would make a little bump sound, and that bump sound would be loud as heck.
Yeah, it should be better
I
now.
listened to it on the computer and had literally no like problems, so I don't.
What I'm gonna
There's something going on. There's something that happens when I upload it and it like goes to that audio only.
Yeah.
There's something that's going on. So
Brandon,
I will be working on that in the future.
I know how to fix it on my end if you can't. So
okay,
we should be good in the future. Anyway, I played Emma Frost. It was 15 or 17. It was Gamma, which is not good news for us. And
that was the whole thing we talked about.
Yeah, and that's what I drew. I was like, oh no. I lost this game. It was close though, but it was Gamma's fault. And the other one was Senators. That went pretty well, the Senators part. But it was 15 or 17, and he chose 15. There's the second bad news, Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right there on everything we didn't want to
Yep,
be a
yeah,
part
yeah.
of.
And I still was in this game, so I
Yeah,
think the list
it's
has
really
some
good.
legs.
I definitely. I mean, I think it's a very good list. So.
So I played Emma, and then I played a 4, a 2, and 2 threes is what I decided I was gonna play.
All right,
And
that's
so
16.
maybe it was 16. What
Was like
what's
maybe 15 or 6. Or
Gamma's
no, because
16. No. Gamma's
No,
15.
Gamma's 15 and Senators
4
is
4.
18, 19. Senators is 19. Gamma's 15.
I may have cheated.
Well, is that why you
Anyway,
did well in a bad circumstance? You were playing a point up. Oh,
gosh, I
No,
might
you
is
played.
there?
You should have played three threes, a two, and a four. That's what you should have played.
3 threes, a 2, and a 4. And the 4's Emma?
Yeah. Did you
Well,
play Voodoo or Enchantress?
I did. I played Enchantress. Okay, well, I cheated. Uh, that's all right.
It
I played
happens. It
Enchantress
happens.
because she had energy attacks, and then Emma had
Uh,
mystic attacks. So either thing that Red Skull 2 picked, I could get them.
you could go
Uh,
around that.
I played 2 Point Black Widow. I played Mystique, and I played Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a close game. I lost. No,
What are you saying no about? Are you sure you
I
played
had
Gamma?
I had Winter Soldier in the list too.
Did
It
you play?
had
So you
to.
played 19.
We played 19 then.
Okay, so
Okay.
if you play that list works
Yeah,
at 19 with Winter
yeah,
Soldier.
yes. Then we played 19 because I definitely had Winter Soldier in there.
All right,
Um,
guys, guess what? Brad's not a cheater. He just
no,
doesn't do math right, even though that's his career.
I just forgot what he picked. I thought he was gonna pick 15. I guess we talked
You were
about it
so
afterwards, and he should have picked 15,
you were
but he
so
didn't.
worried that he was gonna pick 15 that in your mind you
Yeah,
picked
yeah, yeah.
15.
Yeah,
I guess
15
so.
in Gamma is one of those where you have some play, but it's not fun. Like it's not a good game.
But he played Red Skull, Red Guardian. I he was worried about like a Thanos, so he took Iron Man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That's what that's for.
He stepped on a rake before the game even started.
yeah, that was nice. He played some other stuff. He had Winter Soldier. Bob. He had Bob. Bob was interesting in the game. He he said after our second game, he's like, I don't want to tell Brandon that I like Bob in the list.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to get him to play. For those who don't know, I'm a Bob fan. I'm a big Bob stan, and I've been trying to get him to play Bob since he started playing Hydra.
uh, I don't remember what the final score was on that game, but it was a good one. The second game was even closer because he talked me into just going ahead and playing my Tournament X-Men list. I also lost this game. Uh, this one was 15 points because I played 5 threes. That was
Okay.
my list.
Which makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Unfortunately for me, it was Sword and uh, Cubes. He drops Red Skull 2, Spider Woman, and Secret Hulk.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The fact that this game was close shows how good X-Men really are. I did a
Uh-huh.
lot of control and scenario shenanigans. I was ahead for most of the game, but he just it's one of those things where I went all out on one turn. If I score, I ended up at 15 points instead of 16. A little bit unlucky there. And then that's when the attrition caught up with me and I wasn't even close the next turn. But if I had won that turn, and I think it was turn 3, uh, then I would have been good. But it went another
Yeah,
turn.
that's a tough one. There's not a ton of points. I mean, there are points, but there's not like an absurd amount. It would have been hard to win on 3.
Hulk had. It might have been turn 4 then. Hulk had 3 or 4 cubes on him by the end of the game.
The fact that you got to turn 4, like, and were in the game would be pretty immaculate too, I think. So
Yeah, I played the heck out of that. I won every turn except the last. I think I won 3 or 4 sword stations and had a couple cubes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good against a list that tall.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
yeah, I think Michael has figured out that the best thing he can do against you is play tall against X-Men.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's not he can't out scenario X-Men, and
Well, he got to pick the point level on that, and afterwards he's like, I'm really glad I picked 15 because the other one is 19 for cubes or something like that. He's like,
Cubes is 17.
is 17, and
Yeah.
he was like, I think if we had played 17 I would have just lost. And I'm like, the wider I could go the better. Like,
Yeah, and he's not playing. He probably doesn't play those 3 on 17. Like he probably plays
no.
a more traditional style
Yeah.
list where that 17 beats you in the face. I think my favorite moment in this game though was when we played at the last tournament and we played what 20 and you were like 7 wide and you were so excited about it, and then I was 7 wide and you were like immediately devastated
Yeah. Yeah.
because all of like my models from like left to right were just better.
Yes. Yeah, every one of your models is better. You're just as wide as me. Now that counted a grunt.
That did count a grunt. The grunt was not better.
No, the grunt was not better, but
Six
everyone
six
else
out
was
of seven
better.
were in my favor. 6 out of 7 were in my favor. But like the immediate devastation that Brad had, the Steven contest
I had the same
was
I had the same thing happen to me at the last tournament with Steven. Steven was
Oh
just
yeah,
as wide as me when I played him.
yeah. Well, see, we figured you out.
yeah. And I played the attrition list, obviously. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I played
demons.
3. I had
You
3
got you
fours.
got
So
demons, which was very lucky for you. Like that's a bad scenario for X-Men.
mhm.
I did make a
Yeah.
change to my list after that game, though, Steven, for the next one.
Oh no, I'm afraid to hear. So
Well, Brandon, did you want to talk about your most recently played game?
no, not at all.
Okay. Well, it came up a couple times, but there was mention of a tournament, and I wanted to remind everyone that we have a tournament coming up on March 18th at Lost Legion Games in South Charleston, West Virginia. And already we're looking at 10 people. Is that still correct?
I think it's 12 have signed up,
Oh my
and
goodness.
there was still a couple maybes. Like, I think
yeah,
Yeah, so
Steven's still a maybe.
yeah. I haven't signed up yet because we know that I'm traveling. So
Yeah.
we'll see where I'm at.
And I don't think Brandon has signed up.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna show up, guys. I'm not much of a sign up
I'm
beforehand
going to
type of
sign
guy.
you up right now.
So
You don't know
you
what I'm
have
gonna
no
play.
choice.
I don't need to know that to sign you up.
No, that's unfortunate.
are you? Does that mean that you're on Longshanks right now, there, Brad?
On my phone, but I also have it up in this browser if we want to talk
Okay.
about
Well, I
that.
was gonna say, like, there's some stuff you want to talk about Longshanks,
There
isn't there?
is. There is. The first thing I want to do, and I am on the statistics portion of mcp.longshanks.org, if you want to follow along and you're an audio listener. And I just want to point out that Sam has added these, instead of initials for the different factions, they've got little symbols. And those symbols probably look familiar to Cerebro users because they are the same symbols because I sent them to him. And he made them look great on the site. And I figure since I was... What?
That's much better than just having the letters.
Oh, yeah, it's so much better.
So much better. Yeah.
He... in the Alfredo Size 3 Taco Truck Discord, there is a code zone, and it's mostly for Sam to post Longshanks updates, but also coding gets talked about in there, and I go in there sometimes, talk coding. And he lamented that someone was complaining about one of the initials chosen or something, and he was lamenting that wouldn't it be so much nicer if they had symbols like other games like 40K does. And I was like, hey, I have symbols, do you want them? And he said yes. Of course.
Really.
And then I figured we could play a little game.
Okay. I'm game.
And I know Brandon's already looked, so he guesses last. Do you know what the highest win percentage faction is right now?
Highest win percentage?
Yep, Fred, you're first.
I'm okay. I might have information because I vaguely remember this may be coming up. But is it Weapon X?
Steven, what's your guess?
Shield.
Brandon, do you remember?
Yeah, I would like to tell Fred for the second time that he is correct.
Shield is number 2.
Yeah.
The reason I do remember that was definitely something that Brandon said on Well Laid Plans.
Yeah, I definitely did mention about it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I don't remember. That might have been before you guys recorded then, because I don't remember that.
Yeah, we talked about it before we started recording.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
X23, 65% win percentage, and Logan played more often, 55 win percentage, and Original Wolverine, 33% win percentage.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, people are playing Original Wolverine
as their leader in Weapon X, but they're not winning with it, Fred.
Right. Well, more power to you if you're playing Original Wolverine with a Weapon X affiliation.
Hopefully, hopefully you didn't go down this far in the list, but we're gonna start with Steven. What is the least winningest faction right now? What's the lowest win percentage?
Sin Cabal.
So it doesn't separate it by leadership.
It doesn't. So overall,
so just overall affiliation.
Overall affiliation.
Okay, got it. I understand. Oh boy, yeah. I was getting into the weeds there. Sorry about that. Then it has to be Defenders.
Fred?
Well, I'm not gonna say Defenders now. So what about? It wouldn't be. Oh gosh, now I'm thrown for a loop. I'm gonna say, and this is wrong, but I'm gonna say the Winter Guard.
Okay. Brandon, do you remember?
Yeah, I do, because it makes me really sad.
What is it?
That Steven was correct.
No.
Defenders.
Nope.
As of like today, it's probably like Hellfire Club or something.
It is Hellfire Club.
Oh my god.
With a 0% win rate.
Fun fact.
I hate it.
For the record, though, Sin does have a better win percentage than the Defenders does.
Defenders.
Really?
Defenders is second from the bottom. They actually have enough games to count. Hellfire has 3 games, all losses.
4 games, all
So
losses.
technically, I was correct.
Yes.
I just pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sentinels
Yeah.
is 23rd. Winter Guard is 22nd. X-Force is 21st. Nobody is surprised.
No, yeah, those are pretty lammet there at the bottom, I think.
X-Men.
I would like to say that Sin's win percentage is 43% as a Cabal leader.
X-Men
That's
is number
crazy.
3. Wakanda's number 4. Web Warriors are number 5.
Who's number 2?
Shield.
Shield.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
You said that.
Number 10, unaffiliated, 51% win rate.
That's all Michael. Every single one of those is Michael.
No, it's not Michael at all.
I know. I'm making a joke.
I just wish they would look. I just wish they would look at this and be like, you know, who needs a new leadership? The Defenders.
Actually, I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Need a new leader.
No.
They need a cheaper leader.
All the numbers point to that being statistically correct. The fact they have a worse win percentage than Red Skull 1 and Sin as a leader of Cabal.
Well, I play them with Midnight Suns, and I pull them out every once in a while when I see Avengers or Brotherhood, Magneto. So, and they do well against them.
Which is fine, but you're not playing them every game. They've played 735 sanctioned games. They've lost 443 of them. It's a terrible percentage.
I understand. I understand that they are a very specific matchup. So
they also have a very good roster. The problem is that Strange 1 is massively underwhelming, and you have to play him every game you want to be affiliated and have a leadership.
Right. You're stuck with a 5 leader, which we've discussed.
It's not elite.
Yeah. Well, I kindly disagree, but I see your point. So,
fun fact: as a leader, Malekith has a 62% win percentage. 62% win percentage,
which is probably the
highest. X23 is a 65. You just said.
Oh
that.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
It is the second. It is the second highest. Fun fact, though, here's a weird one that I thought was really interesting: that the Avengers have a 48% win percentage, with Sam Wilson having a 59%, Hulkbuster having a 52%, and Steve Rogers having a 45%.
I think that would be a lot of newer players playing core box stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. That was just like
honest.
mind-boggling that it's because there was like 3 years where like Steve Avengers was very, very good. But I guess, yeah, like thinking about it with the fact that you're probably being held down, Corvus has a 40% win percentage with Black Order, which would be the second lowest. Tied with the Sentinels.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, okay, so Steven, do you have a segment for us today?
Well, I do, but I'd like to bring up one thing first. Did everybody see what was touted by Atomic Mass Games today?
Oh,
on their Twitter feed. We forgot to talk about that.
Coming.
Oh, you're right. We did forget to talk about that. Yeah, we got a silhouette model, and it's 100% Squirrel Girl. It is gonna be Squirrel Girl.
Yep.
There's a squirrel on her shoulder in the model, quite noticeably.
And the squirrel is flexing, which is wonderful.
Yeah, just for the record, I do not like characters like this. Just like I do not like Miss Marvel, I do not like this character. So I will not be picking it up.
Love Squirrel
That's
Girl.
fair. I will be happy to use her against you, and you can attack her all you want while I'm attacking you with everything else.
Yeah, I just like graphic and gritty comics. I don't like the happy-go-lucky Mary Sue stuff. So,
okay. Well,
I just hope she's not broken. I really hope she's just not like broken.
You hope she can see the field.
I hope I just hope she's a fair, well-designed model that has nothing to do with her bullshit in the comics.
What
I think
bullshit?
that they've been doing a very good job of making very good models
Just
recent, like pretty well balanced models recently.
They have done a very good job recently. It's been a while since we got like a really bad model. We've had some
Brandon.
like meh models. I don't want to talk about the fact that Squirrel Girl defeated Thanos. Like I don't want to talk about it. It's stupid.
No, it's
It's
not. She's
it is
smart.
stupid.
She's smart because she's not very powerful. She has the power to talk to squirrels. That's it. She beat Galactus.
I understand why they did that run. It's, it is what everyone wants it to be. Cool. It's just
She's
Hey,
also
save it for
I just want her to be like a solid 3-point character that I can give like a B grade to and people can play her who want to play her. That's all I want.
save it for the pod. Don't blow up what the comic book recommendation is going to be.
I'm not
when
going to
we do
recommend
Squirrel Girl.
anything right now, but she is the only person to canonically beat the real Doctor Doom too.
Yeah, which is fucking stupid.
It's great.
Well, Brandon and I are on one side. Brad are on the other. Obviously.
But like I want him to play it. Like, but there's just like those are the things that just bother me. It's the same thing. And I'm a huge Deadpool guy, and they did that run for a while where Deadpool was just in every comic doing this. Like, I don't get as much enjoyment out of that as maybe other people. Other people obviously do because it does well. Like, I'm fine with her existence. I want her to exist for everyone who enjoys her. I just want her to be a fair, balanced, fun character.
Okay. Well, let's
Anyway.
move on to Steven's segment.
Sorry. Yeah, that was an aside. That was kind of heated there. Anyway, here we go.
It's all in good fun. We're all on the same side here, and that is the side of a good game.
I don't get heated. Except for that time I yelled at Brad in the tournament.
Okay,
Which didn't happen. I didn't yell at him.
Yeah.
Going on with our theme from last time we spoke about buying character boxes.
Yes.
We were on 4 threats, and how many were, came just by themselves in a single pack, correct?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to expand that a little bit and say, does anybody have a guess as to how many single character packs there are available in Marvel Crisis Protocol, including our last 2 editions of Immortal Hulk and M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme?
You're assuming that they don't come together. They don't come together. That's
They
No,
don't
they
come
don't.
together.
They've already showed the box pictures.
Right. Right.
So Brad, do you have a guess as to how many single character boxes there are?
12.
Okay. Brandon?
I
wanted to catch you before you looked it up.
You're fine. I think it's. I want to go with 14.
And Fred?
I think they're both too low. I think it's 16. I think it's higher. I think it's a lot.
Okay. Well, Fred, you're the closest on The Price is Right. However, I have no prize for you. The actual answer is 20.
Holy moly. There are
20.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Does this include, I guess it doesn't, oh wait, does it include the Prime Sentinel? Sentinel Prime?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So,
of course it does. The other 2 are the ones that come in their own, they come together. Never mind.
Starting in order of threat from highest to lowest, our 8th threat character box is
Dormammu.
Is this a good buy or not, Brandon?
Yeah, I think it's a good buy. He's fun and he comes with terrain and his own mini game.
Okay, all right. So going next here to 7s, we have Malekith, and I think our consensus a consensus that Malekith is a good buy for the model, correct?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
you should probably buy him if you want
And
to play him.
Immortal Hulk is the second seventh threat box, and we are agreeing that he could be a good buy, correct?
I don't
I
think he's
think
a
he's
bad buy. I don't think there's a world where he's a bad buy.
right.
Okay.
There's no chance that it is a mistake to buy Immortal Hulk. Immortal
Okay.
Hulk is a good model to have.
So in our fourth, in with 4 at 6 threat, we have Hulk, She-Hulk, Thanos, and Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster
So
comes with a second model. Does that count?
no, no, it doesn't. He's a single character, sir. So, out of all these, I think Thanos is probably the best buy because he does have a ultimate encounter with him also. So you get more bang for your buck, obviously, on that.
Yeah, Thanos, Hulk, and She-Hulk are all really good buys.
Okay. So you're not too high on Hulkbuster, huh?
I mean, if you want to play him, but no, I'm not. I'm not uber high on Hulkbuster. I have a Hulkbuster and it's still sealed in plastic and sitting in my closet.
Okay.
And is for sale.
Yeah, it is also for sale if anyone wants to buy it. I got you.
Oh, I might take you up on that. So, anyway, 5 threats we have M.O.D.O.K, Ghost Rider, Sentinel Prime, and Juggernaut.
And
Anybody
MODOK.
have any thoughts on these purchases?
Ghost Rider and Juggernaut are both really good.
Yeah,
you
they're
should
both
probably.
excellent. I would say hold off on buying M.O.D.O.K if you are contemplating it, because we don't know whether or not he's going to be the same way. I don't know. We just don't know. We just don't know. So don't buy M.O.D.O.K until we know.
Now, last time we spoke, which was 2 episodes ago on this, we went over all the 4 threats, which there are now 7 with M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme. So, and we'll be talking about him, but we already went over those for who's a good buy and who's not. And then the last 2 are actually 3 threat models. Can you guys guess who these are?
It's Star
It's
Lord.
Miss Marvel. No, there's three threads. It should be Miss Marvel, the Howling Commandos, and Star Lord.
Yeah.
I missed one. Oh my
Did you miss
gosh.
Miss Marvel?
No, I missed the Howling Commandos
Oh.
out of
Oh,
all things.
Brandon.
So
Speaking
there's
of Howling Commandos, real quick. Michael convinced me after our game that Bucky should be the Howling Commandos.
I mean, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Just wanted to. I forgot to mention that earlier. Okay.
so there's 21 boxes. Excuse my faux pas there. So I did this list in about 30 seconds. So I would say Star-Lord's obviously a good buy because he's leader of the Guardians. Miss Marvel, I think she is a pile of dog poo. So anyway,
I don't. I mean, even if his hatred is based there, I also don't think Miss Marvel's a good model in this game. So I think your best buy is Star. I think Star Lord and the Commandos are both good buys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, I'm just doing this little segment to familiarize people with boxes that are available to them for purchase, so that they can make a semi-informed decision. And considering that it kind of ties in with well-laid plans on Brandon's side when he does that podcast. So, anyway, that's all I got.
I think it's a good segment, and that was fun again. All right. Are you folks ready to move on to who we're doing today? And that is M.O.D.O.K 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. What?
Yeah. M.O.D.O.K 2 Electric Boogaloo, which I had opened earlier, and then I moved over to the tactics cards. Okay, Here he is. M.O.D.O.K, Scientist Supreme. His name is George Tarleton. Nerd name. He has defenses of 3 physical, 3 energy, and 5 mystic on his. Does it change on his?
It does
wounded
not change.
side?
I don't think anything changes.
His health pool changes.
Oh, his
stamina changes. There's that, and Genius requires sacrifice goes down 2 power.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
It is
wow.
free on the back. It is free on the backside.
That is, we'll cover that. All right, so he has 7 stamina on his front and 5 on his backside. He costs 4 threat. He is size 3 and he moves short. His first attack is called Doomsday Chair Arsenal. It is physical. It is range 4 and throws 5 dice. You can choose whether it is a physical attack or an energy attack. I said it was physical. You can pick. And then after it is resolved, he gains power equal to the damage dealt, and it is Wild Incinerate. His spender is called Psionic Assault. Before damage is it is range 3. It is Mystic, range 3, throws 7 dice and costs 4 power. Before damage is dealt, this character may advance the target character short. And then Wild Disorient. Before damage is dealt, the target character gains the stun special condition. I love it when they do that. All right, hey, Brad, why don't you take the first 2 superpowers?
The first
including
one,
the affiliation.
Yeah, the first one is his leadership. It's called Advanced Idea of Mechanics. It's for Criminal Syndicate. Once per turn, when an allied character is attacking or defending, if it is holding or contesting an objective token and has one or more wild result in the roll, it may change one of its dice to a hit or a block. That's pretty cool. Then an active superpower. By my calculations, you'll be dead in seconds. It costs 3. It is a terrain throw size 4 or less within range 3. It throws short once per turn.
Okay. Steven, why don't you take the next 2 superpowers?
Okay. The first one is called All in This World Are Beneath Me. It has a power cost of X, so you can spend as much power as you need up to a certain limit. While this character is attacking during the modified dice step of the attacks, if there is another allied character within 3 of it, this character may use the superpower. The allied character may spend up to 3. For each power spent this way, this character may reroll 1 attack dice. And then another active power called Genius requires sacrifice, your sacrifice to be precise, costs 2 power. When this character is targeted by an enemy attack, it may use the superpower. Choose another allied character within range 2. The chosen character becomes the target of the attack regardless of range and line of sight.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you take the last thing there?
I am M.O.D.O.K, Master of the Mental Arts. While this character is defending against a mystic attack, it adds blanks in its roll to its total successes. Additionally, this character cannot be pushed or advanced by effects of enemy mystic attacks or enemy superpowers. This is a static ability.
Okay. And as Brandon mentioned, the Genius Requires Sacrifice becomes cost 0 when he is on his injured side, which is interesting. So what's everyone's first take? Brad, why don't you start us off? What's your first initial take here?
I love that he has some superpowers that we've seen before, but other people but they're like backwards. So, the All in This World Are Beneath Me, where an allied character pays the power for his rerolls, turns everyone into a Shuri or an Arnim Zola. That's kind of cool. And he has like reverse bodyguard, like original Skull does, where he just shunts the attacks off on someone else. I think I like his leadership a lot. I think it's really good for Criminal Syndicate. And his spender's great. So, pretty standard throw. All in all, he's pretty good for 4 points.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is gonna sound nuts, but I think that this character makes Crossbones a little more playable.
Stop it.
It
What?
makes him a
No,
little more
no.
playable
Fred's
because
done talking. Steven,
you can
give your
shunt
opinion.
damage from MODOK onto Crossbones, and then Crossbones can aggressive advance towards whomever they're shooting.
And then
And I
what? Roll
think,
4 attack dice and do
hey,
nothing and then die?
listen. It's what I was saying is
Like,
that it makes him better. It doesn't
like,
make him good. He's not the right choice,
we're
but
not
it
here to
makes him
give people
better.
bad ideas, all right?
That's fair. That's fair. Steven, what are your thoughts on them?
I'm actually disappointed that he's size 3. I wish they would have kept the size 4. I think that would have still, and that's just case in point. But I mean, there are so many things that affect size 3 now with throws. So size 4 is kind of like that rare air that I would have liked. I just don't know. I obviously the original MODOK being threat 5, this kind of surprised me that it was threat 4. So I don't know.
He's a
And
smaller, angrier MODOK.
well, I advanced idea mechanics is I'm the other thing I'm disappointed in is that it's Criminal Syndicate again. I was kind of hoping for a new leadership,
Yeah.
So
To be honest with the people listening, I had not read that it was Criminal. Like, I just glazed over when I was reading across that it was Criminal Syndicate, and in my head I was thinking, is he a brand new affiliation? Oh boy, who's gonna be in it? But no, it's Criminal
yeah.
Syndicate.
But the thing is, do you play this over Kingpin or Daredevil Shadowlands?
No,
Yeah,
I don't. Well, I don't think. I don't know. It is very different, but also not as good as either one of those, I think.
that's what I'm saying. I wish it was another affiliation altogether, so there wouldn't be this. It's just like Hulkbuster in Avengers, right? You either play Steve or Sam, and Hulkbuster is kind of like, yeah, whatever. So
I don't think AIM by itself made much sense to be an affiliation. I think it was going to be either a Cabal or a Criminal Syndicate affiliation. We talked about this in our group chat a week or so ago, where I was hopeful that it would be Criminal Syndicate for my personal biases, but I did not like the idea of AIM being its own thing, since like active members in AIM were like 2 models in the game.
Right.
So
dude,
like
where are my grunts? Where are my AIM grunts?
the grunts are the thing I think that does bother. I kind of wanted him to come with grunts.
Yeah.
That would have been very nice.
And that would have made the the uh the sacrifice thing so good, right?
Well,
Because you have
the grunts might come with a different AIM model. Like I can't remember her name, but there was a scientist woman who was leader of AIM for a while. Maybe she has grunts.
Yeah, I think I like that too. I think that's a cool little thing. I'm not I'm not against the size 3 change from 4 to 3 because he can't be moved. Um, so he can't be pushed or advanced by enemy superpowers, which is really really good.
Yeah.
That's a good trade-off to me because there's not a ton of like most of the throws you're playing like that are rampant are size 4 anyway. And M.O.D.O.K's not a character you're trying to be super close with, and a lot of throws are on attacks now, and the fact that he can push off any attack that he doesn't want to take to somebody else
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah, but he's not a good smash target anymore. So
He's not a good target for any. All right, I just need to know. Can I go off? Because I got a lot to say. Or does anyone else have anything else they want to say before
I've got one thing to say beforehand, and that is that I think that the weirdest thing about this, I think this is he makes a versatile strategy with Kingpin at least a little bit viable. You could versatile strategy after a bunch of people end up on the dazed side with Kingpin and this gentleman right here. All right, go off, Brandon.
Sure, I'm
Go
up.
crazy.
All right. As the person who plays Criminal Syndicate by far the most in this chat and in our local meta, this model is absolutely bonkers. Like, I don't understand why you guys are so Like he has a range 4 attack, range 3 attack. He's building, he's gaining incinerate. He has a type change on a 5 dice builder, which is really good. He has way better defenses than the first MODOK. I think MODOK was what 2-3-4 or 2-3-3, if I'm not mistaken. Or yeah, 2-3-3 on the old MODOK. Being 3-3-5 is crazy good. It's a little bit less of a health pool, but like it's the genius requires sacrifice. You get to play him in an affiliation with Criminal Syndicate where almost all your good models are reducing damage, and you can push those attacks onto somebody else every single attack. And then once he gets flipped, you can literally do it for nothing. So you can literally keep this model alive as long as you want him to be alive. That is
I mean,
crazy good.
you're right.
It is
Like
only
the fact
range
that
2, but that's probably enough.
especially because he's going to be on either a medium or a large base. I don't know for sure if it's been confirmed. It looks like a medium base in the pictures, but it could very easily be a large base. If you're playing him with a Kingpin, so this is the thing. The core of Criminal Syndicate is probably MODOK, Shadowland Daredevil, and Kingpin now. You're probably playing those three models at 12 and then building from there
Oh boy.
on a regular basis, and you're 4 wide at 12 with the grunts. You can send those attacks to grunts. You
Oh
can make
man.
them use their spender and then send it to a grunt for 2 power. And having a range 4 attack that's probably going to get you at least 1 power, and you can probably do it on turn 1, which means on turn 2 it's going to be online
He's
pretty early on.
he's on the same size base as regular MODOK. I'm looking
So
at
he's on a large base.
Yeah, I'm looking at 2 pictures, one of each MODOK, and they're on the exact same
Yeah.
base.
So he's on a large base, which is so much better. So now he's on a large base, being able to push attacks onto whoever you want to take them.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
So
I
if
just want to
you
point out,
scaring me.
Brandon, that we started with me, and I did not have anything negative to say about him.
No, I don't think anyone. Yeah, I don't think Brad definitely didn't have anything negative. I don't think anyone had any real negative. I don't think the worst thing about this card is the art. All right,
The
that's the
art
worst
is
thing about this
bad.
card.
Oh my god, I hate
Yeah.
it.
That's the worst thing about this card. It's not even close. Like the worst thing is by far the art. Like the fact that he gets to move, he's got a large base, he moves short is fine. Like we've found out in other models that if you give a medium or a long movement to a large base, it becomes very problematic in the game. So a small movement on a large base is perfectly fine. He can set up an attack on turn 1 with a range 4 attack. After moving and getting on a point, he can then attack. So he can move once and attack in the turn 1, possibly give a character incinerate, gain a second power, has genius require sacrifice online, cannot be pushed off points. If there's a target of a throw, just to be clear though, if you change the target to a character with stealth, they can still be targeted. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you can't get too fancy with it and prevent the attack from being. I guess they would just get their power back and they would attack you again, and you just wasted your power, right?
Yeah.
So big waste of time. Also, Brad mentioned it. All in this world are beneath me is absolutely fantastic.
It's really cool.
Yeah, like if I mean we've all played against Shuri. Like Shuri getting to forcibly just give rerolls out is so good.
Now,
And the fact that he can do this is like
MODOK's
he
the
can make other people do this.
MODOK's the only one that gets the rerolls, but
Yeah.
that's
So you
fine.
can't do it everywhere, but it definitely keeps him in that survivability very, very high. And now he's hitting you really hard because Psionic Assault is a really good Mystic attack. So like range 3, you probably have somebody in that. You just paid 4 power. Now Bullseye can pay 3 power. Now you get to reroll 3 dice on your 7 dice attack. And now you can move the character short however you want.
Uh,
And then you can throw your size 4 piece of terrain
Question
at
for
him
you,
if you want.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start playing versatile strategy?
Um, no. Ah, hold on. Let me look.
I
I think I
think
have.
I think you might. I mean,
So
think
the
this.
big thing is this solves a big problem in my criminal syndicate list of my 10th spot because currently I'm playing Ulick, and he's not great. He turns it into a completely different game plan that I don't really want to play. Um, he wants to fight a lot more. I do think I have an available tactics card spot, so I actually probably would play it. Um,
I thought so. I think,
just because, well, the biggest thing is because I'm probably coring Kingpin Shadowland MODOK
yeah,
at 12 with Bullseye at 14 and then like a three-pointer at 17, two three-pointers at 20, and then like adjusting accordingly, obviously going
yeah.
forward, going elsewhere. The biggest thing this does is I'm not sure Beta Ray Bill has a spot in the roster anymore, which is
Wild.
sad.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
wild statement.
However, this makes Shadow Organization and All According to Plan absolutely bonkers.
Oh my god.
Like
Shadow
having more
Organization.
affiliated criminal syndicate specific characters makes that absolutely bonkers to me. Um,
And you
playing a
can
core
do, and you can with versatile strategy, you can start with Kingpin, and when all your guys get dazed, just switch to MODOK
Shadowland
or
Daredevil.
Shadowland
Yeah.
Daredevil, your pick, whichever one's gonna help you more right then.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's definitely a spot on the wrist. The hardest part's going to be getting it in the five, I think, because how good All According to Plan and Shadow Organization are going to become.
Yeah.
And you have a lot more play on pay to flips with it if you don't have a great if you flip research station and you get a so if you get at your extracts and you flip research station, you're in a perfect scenario that you want on your extracts, but you get a pay to flip. Like you still kind of want Kingpin, but there's going to be a point in that game where you don't want Kingpin anymore, and I think that's a really good scenario where you flip over. Um, and you take either MODOK or I like MODOKs because you get to change on defense as well as offense. So like I because Shadowlands is just an attack reroll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you get to modify skulls.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. But it just you have to do the same thing. You have to be contesting or holding an objective, and you can reroll an attack die. Okay, but this doesn't let you. This isn't a reroll. This automatically changes it. You have to get a wild, which is thematic on the with the previous MODOK having a lot of wilds,
Yeah,
like wild effects and stuff. Like wild's not affecting it. Um, but the fact that Genius requires sacrifices free on the back is crazy to me.
it it does seem
And I
very
really, I mean,
very
I guess
good.
it makes more sense because Brad didn't notice it, and I guess nobody really noticed it besides me. Like,
I can tell you right now, I did not notice it.
Now
I
I
knew.
looked for changes and I did not notice it.
yeah,
I noticed the
I
spacing difference between two words on an earlier card and did not notice that.
it didn't notice it went from 2 to 0.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really, really good. Like I said, the worst thing on this is the art on the card. Everything else about this card is very, very
The
good.
model looks good though.
The model is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah, the model's phenomenal. I'm
So
super high on the model. I am also, we have up to 3 new tactics cards. Is that right? Was it 2 or 3?
I don't remember.
man,
Keep talking about
I gotta
something.
say, you're really making me nervous about this guy because I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to fight. You're making me really scared about him.
He does come in a solo box on a super awesome looking thing. He has 2 team tactics cards.
Two. Okay.
Yeah.
You found
He
that
comes
quicker
with
than I
him a
did.
base. One, yeah, he comes with 1 base, so he is a large base. That's
Oh
the only
boy.
time we get 1 base. He has a
Well,
stat card. He is.
they always tell you that you're getting the number of bases equal to what you would need for the
Oh,
models,
okay.
even if you get extra.
You also get a token sheet. So maybe, God, I don't ask for much, but if I can get a criminal syndicate affiliation token, I,
Oh boy.
I will not ask for anything else for the rest of the month of March. All right. I'm not-
That is something that has needed to exist for a long time.
Oh
That
my
is
god!
something
It
that
just
needed to exist.
and if it's aim, that's great. Fine, I'll take it. Just give me something, anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, that
Cerebro and
was
Longshanks uses the hand symbol.
The what's the game that you can play on the computer?
you're gonna need to be more specific there,
Wow.
but
Tabletop Simulator uses a money sign.
Yeah, I
okay.
knew that. I thought that was lame, so I went a different direction.
It
Hey,
it's very fitting for Kingpin's Criminal Syndicate.
do you
It
guys
is
want
not
to
fitting at all
hear?
for the other two.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear a cool piece of comics history trivia?
Sure.
So, the Ninja Turtles were created in the same accident that blinded Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and gave him his sonar sense, his radar sense. Radar's the right. The radar's the word they use. Anyway, um, and when they wrote the Ninja Turtle comics, they did not have the rights to Daredevil, obviously. So instead of calling the evil ninjas the Hand, what did they call them?
The Foot.
The Foot
The
Clan.
Foot Soldiers.
Yeah, the Foot Clan. So the Foot Clan and the Hand are supposed to be the same thing.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay.
They are very different now. Like throughout history, they have evolved differently, and they are no longer related at all. But they were meant to be the same thing at the beginning.
You are. I'm gonna tell you something. You're kind of walking on my recommendation today.
I'm
But
sorry. I'm sorry.
okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. All right. And it's crazy that happened. Okay. Let's. Oh, before we move on, did ever did you folks see Quantumania? Ant-Man
Yes.
Quantumania.
No.
Okay. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but can I just say that I did not enjoy M.O.D.O.K in that movie.
Oh yeah, MODOK was definitely
All right,
That
I got a
was it
question.
was
Did you
very
hold
well.
on? I do have a question. Did you not enjoy the character or everything else about the character?
I did not. I did not enjoy that a lot of the decisions that were made for M.O.D.O.K. He felt very un-M.O.D.O.K. Aside from the fact that he looked like M.O.D.O.K and was M.O.D.O.K.
It was very much a different character. The
Yeah.
CGI was terrible.
Rough.
All right, what's
Rough.
the CGI worse or better than the art on this card?
Then what?
Better. Better.
What did you say? I didn't miss.
The
What's
art
better,
on this card.
the CGI in the movie or the art on this card? Which is better?
The
The
movie.
art on the card's better.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Fred. I think this is one of the and like I feel like I'm the only one that ever comments on the art on the cards in this podcast, but like that's atrocious, especially the healthy side. Like the backside's
The
not
backside's not too
terrible.
bad. That's the one I'm looking at right now. As I
The front
say,
side
that's
is
better.
yeah, the front side's absolutely atrocious, and it's mostly how much gum you can see on the bottom of his teeth. Like just don't look at his. It's like I don't that's I might have problem if I play this model a lot. I don't know if I want to look at it. Like I'm gonna have to like put something over it.
You know
Like
what,
it's
Brandon? I want to say that I'm very proud of you, by the way.
proud of me.
Yeah, this card has a lot of text on it, and I know you read it before the podcast.
I did. I got so yeah, and I don't do that. That's really not my thing. Do you know why I did it?
Because it's a Colonel Syndicate card.
Because it said affiliation criminal syndicate.
Yeah.
I knew he would be affiliated most likely with criminal syndicate, but when I saw AIM advanced idea mechanics and it was affiliation criminal syndicate, I was like, all right. I came out when I was on break at work and it came out like 5 minutes before, um, and I was like I didn't really have a whole lot to do on that break because it was kind of early in the day, and I was like I responded to everybody. I was eating my food, and then it came out, and I was like, oh, Bubby. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on to our letter grade, which we haven't done yet. I think that I'm gonna start us off, and I'm gonna go. even with how good. Oh boy, I'm gonna give him an A minus. I'm giving him an A minus. You talked me up from where I was gonna be there, Brandon. I was gonna
I
be in the B's, but I think that an A
I
minus
feel like
is.
I influenced Fred's grades more than anybody.
Well, you made a very good point. You made some extremely good points when you were talking about him. All right.
Steven,
What's
we
your
haven't
take?
heard from Steven in a while.
Oh,
Oh, you're right.
geez.
I want to
Okay.
go
What's your take,
last.
Steven? What's your take, Steven?
Considering how often he would get played as the criminal syndicate leader, um, I'm at a C plus.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. What's your take, Brad?
A. Just Miller at A. No. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it, even though that breaks my rule about giving A's.
Okay. And Brandon.
Yeah, I'm at a solid A. This model from top to bottom is very, very good. I think it's very, very good.
Okay. Uh. All right. We're split. Well, not fully split, but
No.
we have
I just
we have some disparate opinions.
I just don't know what I'm talking about, I guess.
No, your opinion is 100% valid. That's absolutely a valid place to stand.
Even when it's wrong, it's valid.
Thanks, Brandon.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I guess I think I have a little bit of a bias just because I do love Criminal Syndicate. I don't see anything particularly bad about this card.
All
I
right.
also have an in affiliation like Force Bodyguard, and that's like the greatest thing I've ever. That's like I've wanted that for so long.
All right, Brad. Do you have any comic book recommendations for us today?
The first one is Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. Um, I enjoyed the movie.
The movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
I really like the clever bit at the end. No, this is not a spoiler. Where it says Ant-Man, and then the word Quantumania
Zooms out.
forms around the word Ant-Man.
Yeah, and that's when you realize that Quantumania contains Ant-Man.
Yeah. I really like that. Um, for comics, I have two recommendations here. The first one is Tales of Suspense 92 through 94. The story's called If This Be M.O.D.O.K. It's by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the great creators that made Marvel what it is today. And this is the first appearance of M.O.D.O.K. So Captain America is fighting AIM. Captain America, as we know him, hadn't been around unfrozen for very long. So he had only fought AIM a couple times. But this time they have a new leader. The AIM members keep talking about this new leader, how scary he is, and all this stuff. And you don't see him for the first two issues in this story. And then in the third issue he appears, and it's M.O.D.O.K. And I cannot imagine what the reaction to M.O.D.O.K was at the time. I read a little bit about it because there was nothing like this in the comics. Like he's kind of a ridiculous looking character, and he is so far away from like what you would think. And
Kinda ridiculous looking.
I saw the original drawing where he first shows up. And he's a little scary in that picture. He's also a little derpy. But
Would you say he's the first joke character in comics for Marvel?
I don't think he was a joke when he premiered. I don't think he was a joke. He's been used as a joke sometimes since. But
Okay.
I
How
think
can
that
he
they were
be
playing
anything
it
but a
straight.
joke? How can he be anything? I mean, his name stands for Mechanized organism designed only for killing.
Yeah.
M.O.D.O.K, as pointed out in Ant-Man.
I
That was
I meant
well known way before Ant-Man Quantumania, for the record.
well,
Just
I
not
meant
just not to
joke.
Fred.
I meant joke as in ridiculous.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no.
it's ridiculous.
It really seems like this story plays him straight and as a menace.
Which is the weirdest take.
Yeah.
That's the
Do you know-
wildest take.
Do you know that MODOK was not his original name
What was
when
it?
he was created?
Was,
So he was not designed as a mechanic.
was his original name George Tarleton?
Well, yeah,
No.
but I mean when they made him into this thing.
Okay.
He
Designed
was,
only for computing, right?
yes. He was designed for computing with a C, so it was MODOK with a C. And he decided that he needed to kill people. And it became killing.
This character is I hate how good he is.
Does that
'Cause,
remind
like,
you of a certain
I hate
movie
him. I hate him.
that is the worst of the Avenger movies?
The Dark Elves? What
What?
That's
I
not an
forget
Avengers.
Did you listen to a single word I said, friend?
Age
an
of Ultron?
Avengers movie. Ultron.
Yeah. When Ultron saw the internet for a whopping like 12 seconds and decided the whole world should die.
Oh, yeah, that's fair, though.
I mean,
He didn't-
it takes me a shorter period of time.
He wasn't
Yeah,
on.
I mean, like,
He wasn't on our kitties or our aw or our all the like.
he missed out on all the good stuff. Is
Yeah,
what we're getting
he
at.
didn't look at pets on the internet. He looked at people on the internet.
Yeah. That was like it was like the most relatable thing in Marvel movies was the fact that Ultron was on the internet for 12 seconds and decided that we should all die, and he's not wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta start over.
The second recommendation, I wanted to find something that justified the fact that this was a criminal syndicate leadership, because I think it's a bit of a stretch otherwise. So I've got this so good.
I was very certain it would be Cabal and not Criminal Syndicate.
Yeah, it seemed like it would, but that's a lot of leaders for Cabal. I had not heard about this series before I found this in my research, and I am going to read it. This sounds so good. It's called Supervillain Team Up / MODOK's 11.
Oh.
It is 5 issues. It's by Fred Van Lente and Francis Portela. And this is a heist comic where MODOK recruits a bunch of C and D list supervillains to do a heist. And the write-up I found promised that it has twists and turns. And if you like heist movies or shows or books or anything like that, you would probably like this comic. So I think this sounds fabulous.
Okay. I like all those things. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Are those?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You can find them all on that Marvel app.
Yes.
Marvel Unlimited.
Marvel Unlimited.
Marvel Unlimited.
It's you can
Thank you.
You can get it often for $60 for a year. That is less than the price of 2 comic issues a month. And it's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of comics.
Yeah, if you're okay with reading on a digital device,
Yeah.
and you want to read comics, it is well worth your money.
Yeah. It is the second best deal in comics.
Can you get it on a Kindle?
Yes.
Like the
Yeah.
because like
The
I don't know if there's any other device besides. I know Kindles are well designed to like help it like easier to read and like
Yeah,
easier on your eyes
so
and stuff. So
they have 2 types of Kindles. They have like the ones that are like a book and they're black and white. You can open them on there. You might not be able to get Marvel Unlimited on there. Never mind. But
but that you can on like the tablet version.
Yeah, the tablet collar one, you can get Marvel Unlimited on there. I'm like 99% sure. Do you guys know what the best deal in comics is?
What is the best deal in comics?
A digital subscription to Shonen Jump. They have the most comics for the least amount of money. If you like manga, look into it. I don't have a subscription. I just happen to know that it's like half the price for like at least twice as many comics.
Yeah, and it's just like manga and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not actually, yeah, it's not like Marvel, DC,
No,
or
it's
anything
not Marvel
like
or DC. DC also
that.
Yeah,
has a
that's-
service.
Is Spawn on there?
No, it is
Bleach is.
Bleach is
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z is like
I knew there were a couple big ones. I thought, I was thinking there's one that's like odd that like Spawn's on, but I can't remember what it is.
I don't know. Shonen Jump should have the Deadpool manga on it too, where he meets All Might.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael because he keeps bugging me to mention that on the podcast that Deadpool meets All Might.
Deadpool does cross. He crosses over in a lot of comics.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to your list recommendation, Brandon. Brandon, can you put him in something other than Criminal Syndicate?
Yeah, I think he has play and a decent amount of affiliations. Again, the hardest thing for any four threat character is the fact that it's a very deep threshold. I mean, it feels like a cop out to put him in like any of the Cabal leaderships, because he's gonna be affiliated, right? Like he's gonna be Cabal.
Probably.
Like yeah, like it would be pretty surprising if he wasn't Cabal. Um, the big thing, I like his attack diversity. I like what he brings, so I like him in like beefy affiliations. And I think some affiliations like Hydra, where you can give him some extra power and put attacks on characters. You can kind of turn attacks away from him onto like Red Skull when he's got his defenses up. That maybe it wouldn't be great against him, like an energy attack you can put on like Red Skull when he gets to roll 5 defense dice on energy. And it kind of fits a little bit more thematic with that, but I kind of do like him with Hydra. Because there's not a ton of really beefy affiliations that he's not affiliated in. No, Spider-Foes isn't really that beefy. I don't think he's bad in Spider-Foes. I think he does a good job. I've done Spider-Foes a handful of times.
What
Spider-Foes is
they're not beefy?
they're not
beefy.
super beefy.
They're beefy.
They're
They're
not
extremely
super
beefy.
beefy.
Rhino.
I do like the synergy between...
You know what all those characters have in common? That they're all 4-threat, which can be very clunky.
I like
This is
his
my segment. Go away.
I like his
This is
synergy
mine.
with Venom.
I do too.
Oh, shnikes, you're right. You're right. That's great synergy. Oh no.
Except
Okay.
for it being if it's an energy attack.
Yeah.
Then they just sit there and look at each other. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to do this? No? Alright, you want to do this? Also, he fits in really well with Steve Avengers if you want to play him with good guys.
Yeah, of course he does.
Because also Steve is, once Steve's flipped, like if they're both flipped, like, and you keep them near each other, like Steve doesn't really die on his backside.
Oh my god, no he doesn't.
And if you can just put all attacks on him, you're doing something right. You're doing something right.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for MODOK. For my non sequitur recommendation, I'm gonna bring, and it's crazy that Brad brought this up, but I was gonna bring the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the original one, the first one. And the reason
That's a good movie.
What? You know what? I've watched it relatively recently, and it's really actually quite a fun movie to watch. It's not bad at all. I was worried it was not gonna hold up because I remember watching it as a child and thinking, this is the best thing that I've ever watched ever in my life, and it will always be that when I was a kid. And watching it as an adult, I was like, this is still pretty good. Kind of a surprising thing to land on. And I genuinely, my thought process here was that it was just a ridiculous thing that shouldn't exist but does exist, kind of like M.O.D.O.K. And I didn't even know that they were even canonical Marvel.
They're not. Marvel does not recognize them, but the Ninja Turtle comics kind of recognize Daredevil.
So they think they're Marvel, but they're not.
Yeah. The Ninja Turtles movie that you're talking about is probably one of the closest adaptations from a comic of any movie from a comic. Like, everything in that movie happens in like the first 6 issues of that comic.
Wow.
It's very on point.
Y'all, it's a better movie than you remember. It's a pretty fun movie.
When they go to that house in it's I don't know if they mentioned this in the movie, but it's in Northampton. That is where the creator of Ninja Turtles grew up. It's modeled after where he grew up. He
Okay.
grew up in Northampton, and that house is similar to the house he grew up in. And they do that in the comics too.
Well, that is it for our episode on M.O.D.O.K. I hope you had fun. I know that I'm now going to be terrified to see him across the table, and I'm now also terrified because it's going to happen all the time.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, I'll see everybody later. Have fun out there.
Have game good.